patient's coming in for removal of a superficial lesion that lays in his mid-back. I have a resident working with me today, so I'm going to ask him a couple of questions. I'm going to make an effort not to refer to him by name, just so there's no pressure. So you remember what type of cyst this is?
Epidermoid cyst?
Yeah, so this is epidermoid. Epidermal cyst is the same. Do you remember what they're derived from, how they form?
The sweat gland gets blocked and the sebum builds up, and that's where you get the
Yeah, that's one of the theories they think. With these ones, that's more common for the pilar cyst specifically.
Mm-hmm.
They think this is trauma initiated, so that there's some type of trauma that dries the epidermal cells down into the underlying dermis and hypodermis. So we've added some anesthesia in through here. The only thing I tell residents with this one is just be very careful with this. If we rupture the membrane, it's not a big issue as long as we get out the capsule. But with this number 15 blade, I'm going to be very superficial with this because, like, barely touching it. And that's done on purpose because when it's bowed up like that, usually it's lying just underneath the surface. So this can be frustrating if you're watching it. Why don't you just get more aggressive with the blade? But I would encourage you to just go a little bit slower with this one. And you're okay, not feeling anything?
No, I'm good, doctor.
Just trying to get there and open it up a little bit. So you can see already here that's opening up a touch. So you've seen me do this before. I try and put one arm of the blade underneath it a little bit. Just so I can open this up a little bit. So you can see how that teases out. It's opening up a little bit. So this is blunt dissection. So this is, you can use Kelly's or Criley's, or in the States they call Criley's just basic snaps. See how it opens up. You can appreciate how we're deeper now. And see the difference here? You can see there's that thin membrane right there, and that's what was fighting us a little bit. But that's why I was trying to go a little bit slower. Same thing on both sides. If I can just break it down a little bit. Just like that. So the other advantage this has too is now if it did break down, you've exposed enough of it that it would be very simple to get that to come out a little bit. You can see here where that's a little bit weaker. That's where the membrane will want to break down a little bit. So what I'm trying to do here is do the same thing from behind. Just break down some of the adhesions. So now I just grabbed a bit behind it. And you're okay?
Yeah, I'm good down. How far down are those things, like under the skin, at the bottom of it? Like,
It varies widely. Like sometimes they can go quite deep.
Okay.
Yours doesn't look like it does. Like this is remaining fairly superficial.
Okay. I think you're right too, Doc. I think it is from an injury, like a pinching.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I remember when I used to lift weights, I'd have my shirt on, the muscle shirt,
Yeah?
and I always had like a red seam there when I took my shirt off. Like if I did flies, you know,
Yeah, then you'd feel it.
I could feel it. And then one time I had a pimple, I'm pretty sure. My sister saw it on my back and she went to pinch it.
Yeah. Just take
And
it.
that's when they kind of came. Like I noticed that later on it was growing a little bit there.
So this is completely intact there, and you can see when I squeeze it, that's where you get the sebum out you would normally see. But that's intact all the way around. So here again, we'll just suture this closed. And because we didn't do an elliptical incision, there's no tension on this. This should seal pretty quickly for us. Now here you can choose to start from the middle or the sides. This is going to be so basic that it wouldn't matter where you start or finish from. So here specifically when I'm showing you how to do this, typically I'll do the vast majority of the procedure or have one person do the majority of the procedure just so I can show people who are watching it that even if you don't have the assistance, you can certainly get this done. At this stage, because the resident here is going to help me clipping the sutures. And then the next one that comes in will anonymously videotape the resident without naming him. So we'll just tidy this up, and we'll see them back in a while and take those out. We're good.